So today I'm going to be taking you through every single step of the process of cutting out the pieces you need for your A Star quilt using my AccuQuilt. This pattern is completely based off the AccuQuilt dies in the 8-inch mix and match block. I'll show you each one you need. There'll be a blog post in the description linked so that you can read if that's more how you like to learn things. The pattern is also available in the description, and if you're viewing this before the pattern is out, there will be a sign up for the email list so you can get it as soon as it's available. And I hope this makes it a little bit easier and gives you kind of a view of cutting, whether you're on the fence at AccuQuilt or you have one. But if you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments and I will get back to them so you can get to making your quilt. Okay, so to get started on this AccuQuilt project, we are going to be using this gorgeous bundle of fabrics from Art Gallery Fabrics. I have 6 of their pure solids, and then I have 6 of their soften the volume line. So I will list all of those out in the blog post, let y'all know what those are and what the colors and names of them are. And then I'm going to be using dies from the Mix and Match 8-inch block and the Corners Companion set. For our backgrounds, we will be using number, the chisel, number 9 from the Corners, and number 4 from the Mix and Match 8-inch block. And then we will need a few of the number 8 from the 8-inch Mix and Match, which is the rectangle. But the rectangle will also be used when we're doing our pure solids. And then we will be using the 2-inch or 2.5-inch half square triangles and the 4.5-inch square. So this is number 1, this is number 5, and then again that 8 rectangle. And then of course we have our mat. I have 2 between this box, so I may switch it out in the middle of cutting all of these, but we'll just be flipping that over to make sure we get the most wear out of it. So we are going to start with our the pure solids, the colors. Let me get these out of the way. So to show y'all the most possible using each of these dies, I'm gonna cut fabric 4. And to start with these fabrics, I like to do the strip method for the AccuQuilt. So for number 4, we need 1 strip that is 5 inches. So we're gonna fold. Okay. And I don't really like to use the lines of my mat, so you're gonna see me use the lines of my ruler. We're gonna make sure this bottom edge is all lined up. And then as you can see, we have a little bit of unevenness at the end. Just gonna line this up here and snip off a bit. Okay. And then we're gonna cut a 5-inch strip. And this one will be used when cutting with the 4-inch square die. Okay. And I'm gonna keep this folded because that is how we are going to cut. And then also from this, we need 3 strips that are 3 3/4 inches. Now, while you want to be as accurate as possible, of course, just when cutting in general, this is going to go through the AccuQuilt, so it's not detrimental. Okay, 1. one. Okay. So if you are watching this, I do suggest that you do the strip cutting as the directions state for all of your colors first. I'm just going to show y'all one so that we can make it through it in a timely manner in the video. So, done with this one as far as strips go. We're going to put our ruler away. And now we're going to pull out the AccuQuilt. Okay. So, got this all set up. It's very, very easy process. We're going to start with our 4-inch squares. Okay. Remember, this is die 1 from the 8-inch block mix and match. Then we need 6 of these for ours. And so normally if we had a block that was like a triangle or something, I may not suggest this, but I am gonna do the folding method for this. So place it over, making sure we have enough on each edge and that the selvage is not on there. And then once we find where that edge is, we're just gonna fold it back and forth, just like that. And so remember, we have 2 layers. I did 2 folds. So I'm just gonna double check real quick. Good over there. And we're good over here. Place our mat on top and run it through. Perfect. Now remember, the 6 layers is the max that you can run through your AccuQuilt, so just be careful when picking it up. And then all we have to do is snip off these corners and we have extra. So we have a little bit left over. Keep that handy in case you just run into any issues with cuts. And now we have 6 4.5-inch squares. So we're done with this die for the green. And now I'm gonna go ahead and do the half square triangles with die 5. So we do need 60 of these. And same thing with this one, it is in the square. So we're just gonna go ahead and fold this over 2 times. So we'll need to do this 10 times to get the 60 cuts, obviously. Nope, nope, nope. Do not forget your mat. Okay. Push it through. Okay. Slide. Okay, one little mishap. See, that's what you want to make sure that it's over enough. So this only gave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I was wrong. Just realized that my math was not good. This is actually going to give you 12 each. So we do not need to make 10 cuts. We need to make okay. So 8 of these are done. We're gonna do it again, making sure this time that we're covering the edges of the die. Actually, this is gonna be a better way. So this is going to give us 12.
gosh. So now we have 20 half square triangles. And the best part about this, I know this sounds like a lot to have 60 of these of one color, but we're not gonna have to trim. That is one of the greatest things about the AccuQuilt, having these little notches. You will just press and be good to go. And then from this last bit of strip, we need 3 rectangles. So the way we're gonna do it with this one, just since we have the strip, is we're only gonna go on one side, and we're just, I'm gonna only fold it over, we're gonna fold it this way. So 1, 2, as you can see, I unfolded the main strip so that it wasn't double like we were cutting the triangles. 2 and 3. Let's make sure, folded edges, side. This is showing, but there's 2 rectangles in this, so we're only cutting a rectangle on this side. Perfect. Okay. Pull that off. Keep a few pairs of scissors, of course, just to snip the little threads that don't quite come off. Okay. 3 rectangles. So we do have some excess fabric, of course, and these are big enough to keep in your scrap stash. So now, not every single one of the color fabrics are cut in the exact same way, but this is a view of cutting each of the different possibilities. The only really difference is that not all of them will have a rectangle, and you will see why. Okay, so to continue with our cutting, we're gonna start doing some of our background fabric. As you can see, I've already done a few up here, but we're gonna do this in the same way. You wanna start with strips. So I'm actually gonna move this just for a second. Bring this out. Okay. This edge does not have to be perfect for your AccuQuilt. So we're gonna follow this bottom and cut our 5-inch strips. We will be cutting the chisel, the quarter square triangle, and a rectangle from all of this for our background. So need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have just enough to get those strips out. Then we are going to lay our AccuQuilt back out. And for these, I suggest that you start with your chisel or a mat. And I'm going to do these. This is still folded because you want to make sure you get mirrored pieces of this, and we're gonna stack up 3 strips folded to give us 6 layers. Okay, so we have our 6 layers here. You can see the selvage line, of course. We're just gonna line it up to make sure it's overlapping our edges. These are mats. Let's get these 2 out of the way for now. And all we're gonna do is just lightly pull this over to overlap this. Go back through. Okay. This is the point where I like to trim off the excess here. And then I'm just gonna keep passing this through. This should give us about, I believe, 7 passes. And so we'll have a little bit more to cut with the other strips, but we'll get to that in a minute. So now I'm only gonna get one of our other strips. For this strip, we're gonna cut it in the fan fold method. So, down there, make sure we're all good. And then we're gonna fold it 2 times to give us those 6 layers. You could totally layer up your 5 strips and cut 5 at a time, but this gives you a bigger piece of like scrap material in the end, and it's just what I prefer to have over little pieces. Okay. 48. Trim all of this off. There's a few more cutting requirements. We're gonna need 1 1/4 square triangle and 1 rectangle. So let's just do this rectangle. We only need 1 of each. So we're gonna open up this strip, and I'm only gonna lay it over the one. Okay, 1 rectangle. And then 1 1/4 square triangle, just over this one. Make sure it's covering. Okay, there we go. 1 1/4 square triangle. Of course, you can just throw these wonky pieces out. from our 5 strips of background fabric, we cut our 1/4 square triangle, 1 rectangle, and 60 chisels. Of course, if you are doing just one solid for your background, you'll have 6 of these, 6 of these, and 360 of these, but thanks to AccuQuilt, it goes real fast.
Alrighty, so I hope that tutorial was helpful, and I hope it gave you, if you haven't purchased your AccuQuilt yet, an inside look at what it's like to use it, how quick it is. This is going to be a decent sized throw quilt, and it took me no time at all to cut out these pieces and be ready to sew. So in my next video, you will see me sewing them, and I'm going to go through one of my favorite things when it comes to sewing quilts, and that is chain piecing. It saves me so much time, so easy, and you keep everything together. So make sure to look out for that video and let me know if you make the You're a Star quilt.